Proverbs 23:7 says, "As a man thinketh, so is he." And Maya Angelou famously said, "When someone shows you who they are, believe them." This morning, President Donald Trump, in a post about former President Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, showed America and the world exactly what the majority of Black people have been yelling as loud as possible about Trump since his first administration in 2016. And that is that Trump is a racist. In this episode, I want to talk about how Trump's latest racist moment isn't just unsurprising, but is unfortunately a part of the brand of white evangelicalism in America. My name is Trey, and this is the Righteousness and Justice Podcast. Welcome back to the Righteousness and Justice Podcast, where I seek to encourage Christians to biblically and critically think through the issues of justice in our society. If you haven't done so already, please hit that like button and the subscribe button so that way you can be notified whenever I upload new content on the channel. All right, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this. So this morning or last night, depending on where you are, President Donald Trump uploaded a post on his platform Truth Social that included the heads of former President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama attached to the bodies of apes. Now, this post has caused uproar and condemnation for people who see this for what it really is. It's just racism. However, the silence from many of the white evangelical leaders who support him continues to be deafening. Just yesterday, Paula White, who is Trump's spiritual advisor, referred to Trump as the GOAT, or the greatest of all time presidents, during a national prayer breakfast in which Trump bragged about not needing to read the Bible. He continued to lie about winning the 2020 election, and he bragged about having a large ego and how this win in 2024 increased that ego. Despite Paula White's rise in ministry being owed largely to Black Christians over the years, she's been silent about not just his latest racist posts, but many of the things that he's done in the past that have been deemed as being racist. Billy Graham Jr., another one, who's been nothing but supportive of Donald Trump through both administrations and has referred to Trump as a defender of the Christian faith, has been very silent, basically just crickets about the latest Trump racist posts. And none of the many white evangelical pastors and prophets who declared that Trump is divinely appointed by God to lead to a revival of Christianity in America have had anything to say or have attempted to call out Trump for this post. And to be fair, this criticism isn't just for white evangelicals. Just this morning, Pastor Lorenz Sewell out of Detroit posted this on Threads. "We are grateful for our president of prayer. We all know that he isn't perfect, but he that is without sin, let him cast the first stone. Real Donald Trump, POTUS." This again, having absolutely nothing to say about the latest Trump racist post. And then just yesterday, Tiffany Montgomery, someone who claims to be a prophet of God, celebrated Trump's empty declaration that America was once again one nation under God. But today, as of this recording, she's been crickets concerning Trump's latest racist post. Many continue to question, how can a group of people claiming to hear from God completely ignore the blatant racism from this administration? But I would argue that we shouldn't be surprised. In the book White Evangelical Racism, Anthea Butler argues that racism is a feature, not a bug, of American evangelicalism. In other words, it isn't simply a coincidence or by accident that 81% of white evangelicals in 2016 and in 2024 voted for Donald Trump despite his constant lies and use of racist tropes and dehumanization of immigrants and willingness to lean into conspiracy theories. Rather, the willingness to accept this obvious sinful perspective is built into the cultural theology of many evangelical communities. This cultural theology can also find its way into Black, Latino, and Asian Christian communities that are in close proximity or who are immersed into white evangelical communities. Now, this doesn't mean that every white evangelical is a racist or a Trump supporter. If 81% of white evangelicals voted for Trump, then the other 19% voted for someone else. However, it does mean that the larger American evangelical culture has a racism problem that is not simply going to be prayed away. It will take honest conversations about the racism baked into the theologies over the centuries, such as the role of Eurocentrism, the influence of the doctrine of discovery on the white Christian culture, and the ways in which white superiority has led white evangelicals to support racism, slavery, Jim Crow, and fights against diversity. It will take real acknowledgement of the very real ways in which American evangelicals have allowed the Republican Party to co-opt Christian language and symbols to create a Christianity that is predisposed to maintain power, political power, over living out the teachings of Jesus. It will also take more Christians to realize the damage white evangelical embrace of racism and sexism and xenophobic tropes have led to the diminishing of the testimony of the American church at home and abroad. For Black, brown, Asian, and multiracial Christians who find themselves digesting the toxicity in white evangelical theology, it means decolonizing your theology. Now, that doesn't mean walking away from Jesus or the Christian faith. Instead, identify the parts of your belief that align with the preservation of power or that encourage your silence about or complicity in racist narratives. Examine the Christian leaders, pastors, scholars, and podcasts that you digest, and do the work of recovering the Christ in the Bible while extinguishing the influence of teachers who are more power and superiority minded than Christ minded. Some suggested reading that I think can be very helpful in this process are the aforementioned White Evangelical Racism by Anthea Butler, The Land is Not Empty by Sarah Augustine, and then last but not least, The Color of Compromise by Jamar Tisby. Now listen, I hope this episode has been helpful, and I look forward to seeing you all on the next episode of the Righteousness and Justice Podcast. Take care.